everyone. My name is Gabriella from the Property 118 team, and today I'm joined by Phil Melia from the Winter Melia Group, who won Property Developer of the Year at the 2023 Property Investors Awards. Firstly, welcome, Phil, and congratulations on your award.
Thank you, Gabriella, and thank you for having me today.
Yeah, no problem. It's great to have you. So, before we get started on the awards, I want to go back a little bit in time and ask how your career got started and how Winter Melia came about.
Yeah, depends how far back you want to go, but so I've been in business since I was 16. So I've had 11 startups in the past 20 years. So in 2015, me and my best friend Carl, who's my co-director in Wintermelia, decided to put our skill sets together. So obviously I had the commercial and business acumen experience. Carl has been in construction since he was 16. And we've been best friends for over a decade at that point. So we decided to go together and create Wintermelia. So we first started with a three-bed semi in auction. We've been to about 5 or 6 different auctions and not successful. And in the end, we just went, we've just got to get one and get the ball rolling. So we bought a three-bed semi in 2015. Did that up, obviously refurb and refinance, retained that in the portfolio and then just moved through the gears really. We then went on to bungalow conversions. So we were buying bungalows, adding huge dormers on the back under permitted development and selling them. Then we bought our first listed building back in 2017. And obviously a lot of people sort of shy away from listed buildings, but we really enjoyed that scheme, and the results were really impressive. So we decided to sort of take a route down the niche of listed buildings. And since then, obviously, we've specialised in historic buildings, listed buildings, and a lot of headaches along the way.
Yeah, and you were talking about the listed buildings there. So now going on to the awards now, because obviously I was reading your winner's application form and you were talking about the Spire project. So can you tell us a little bit more about that and some of the challenges you faced when doing that?
Yeah, so I mean, again, that goes back to even the initial challenges. So we actually agreed the price on this through the Church of England. I think it was 2019.
Wow, yeah.
So it took 2.5 years just to get through legals, dealing direct with the diocese. So things like that have to be factored in as well. I mean, the upside of that is obviously we agreed a price in 2019 and started on site in 2021. So, we'd acquired at a really good value. So that was sort of the first sort of thing we had to overcome. But it just means that we have to have an extended pipeline through all our schemes to factor in projected legals. So yeah, so that was sort of getting on site, and then obviously the challenges start even more when we get to site. So obviously dealing with a 200-year-old building, there's going to be a lot of challenges that come up that aren't seen at the start. We offset the risk because we've got our own construction team, so we know what we can develop for. So we offset the risk from the outset. But really, it's just having the vision and the vision to execute what we want to achieve on the scheme. So we go into it and sort of reverse engineer everything on a minimum expectation. But we know during the process we can sort of maximize the GDV with the values, by sort of having the design led approach, and incorporate as many of the original features as possible. But back to the challenges. Where to start. There's challenges, so ventilation causes challenges, fire causes challenges, um, you name it, there was a challenge. Drainage, everything you can possibly imagine, which obviously involves not being able to touch elements of the listed building or even the surroundings of the listed building, because obviously things fall within the curtilage of a listed building. So there's constantly challenges to overcome, but just making sure that we have the right team in place to enable us to overcome them and give us so much visibility on any challenges at the start of the process, and ultimately go into the scheme with our eyes open, knowing that there is going to be a lot of challenges, which is why most people shy away from the listed building elements.
Yeah, and you were touching on there as well that you use like your own construction team for your
Yeah.
developments and stuff. I can imagine that's like a really big help and you have like a good working relationship with them.
Yeah, that's it. So we sort of manage expectations. They know what our expectations are. The beauty of our business is that Carl heads up our construction side. So we've got one of our directors on site with the team, 90% of the time. So, we're in there with him, and he oversees the build from start to finish. Carl has got major OCD, so I know that everything is meticulously executed. To the point where I'm just like, "Can you get it done?" Because he's like, "No, I want to pull up this 1 mil piece of floor to make sure it's perfect." Oh, yeah. So the finished product, I think, speaks for itself, and I think that's what most people that come round, even sort of the QSs and the valuers, just like the standard that you guys do it to is what we see in Mayfair. That's what they compare things to. And it's that's all because of Carl's meticulous on-site approach. But with the subcontractors and everyone we use, we use them every single scheme. They know exactly what we want. They know our expectations, and obviously they see sort of where we're going in terms of pipeline, and they want to be involved in the brand going forward. So yeah, obviously there's some aspects we have to plug in specialist subcontractors in certain areas, but we do use the same core team on every single scheme, so keep that working relationship going for a long time, and that trust element. They trust us, we trust them, and Carl's there to oversee and do exactly what we need to do on site.
Yeah, that's really good. Definitely what you were saying there, the trust element as well, I think is really good. And then I wasn't too sure if you can reveal, but can you reveal any of the projects that you've got planned for 2024?
Yes, so we've just actually launched the reveal on the next project, which is again another great tool is the church. So yeah, more headache. So if anyone out there has got a sponsorship for the pain relief, then or added an extra, then you know where we are. But yeah, so we're doing the next scheme, which is called the Residence, which is a low density, high end scheme on one of the most prestigious roads in Liverpool. So the smallest unit on that one's going to be up 2,000 square foot. The all triplex dwellings with their own internal lift. So again, just absolute top end of the market. But again, it gives us that ability to leverage our what we can do on site. So looking forward to getting involved in that one. Then we've got another two which we haven't released at the moment. One of them's just got planning. The other one's just about to get successful planning, and then our pipeline, and we've got another seven schemes in the pipeline. On top of that as well, we've also got a technology company which we launched about 2 years ago, which is a prop tech solution. So working hard on delivering that one as well. So yeah, it's busy across all fronts really.
Yeah, wow, sounds like onwards and upwards for 2024 then. That sounds great.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, perfect. And then as well, I've been asking the other award winners as well, what advice would you give to people that want a career in property?
Mhm. I suppose set out the ambition from the start, know what you want to achieve and ultimately how you're going to achieve that. If it is being a developer, there's a lot of noise in the property development space. A lot of people claim to do X, Y, Z, but it's also almost finding the people that are actually executing and not just the people who are big on sort of social media. We're sort of the opposite. We're quite, we don't shout that much, probably not as much as we should. But we just, head down and get on with things. So I think anyone starting in property, just know exactly what you're trying to achieve, have a strategy in place to achieve that, and also just know that like any business, things are going to go wrong. You've got to factor those processes in, but having that tenacity to make sure that you've got the confidence in yourself to be able to overcome any obstacles which you put in the way.
Yeah, definitely. So hopefully anyone listening to that, they take those top tips on board. And now going on to the Property Investors Awards themselves. I mean, congratulations again on the award. So how does it feel since you've won? And would you recommend people to apply?
Yeah, I mean, we actually didn't anticipate that we were going to when we looked at the category, and it was probably the strongest category of the night. So we didn't think we were going to win. So it was a big surprise when we did. Obviously, fantastic achievement for the team. And since then, we're constantly developing our investor pipeline as well to sort of execute on schemes. So it obviously helps raise our profile across the board, speaking to investors. Obviously, anyone can sort of see the substance behind the business. We've been executing year on year since 2015 and see the growth there. So it just gives us that sort of acknowledgement that we are, a developer that does what they say, and is obviously continually trying to grow and develop into other areas. So yeah, I think off the back of the awards, the leverage we have speaking to investors, speaking to lenders as well. It's opened up a couple of doors on sites and potential acquisitions. So, for our point of view, we would recommend anyone to nominate themselves for the Property Investor Awards because it is such a significant award in the industry. And obviously on the back of that, there's huge benefits as well that come out of if you are successful in winning.
Yeah, definitely. And then I know at the awards themselves, it's a really good place for networking and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we actually won in 2020. We won two of the awards in 2020. But obviously it was during lockdown, so it was all
Yeah.
digital. So we were celebrating in our living rooms at the time. So it was nice that this time was actually in person. And obviously meeting amazing people there. And the whole crowd, everyone was really, really friendly. There was sort of no egos. It was just everyone wanted to network with each other and find out, what each other's strategies and what they do and how they work. So I would genuinely recommend it to anyone. It was a really friendly vibe throughout the whole evening, and met some great people.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So thank you so much again, Phil, for taking your time, and we wish you the best of luck in 2024.
Oh, perfect. Thank you so much. Appreciate having me.
Thank you.